So you want to know what's going on in Vancouver real estate? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you in 4 slides exactly what's going on in the real estate market. Looking back at February 2021, where are the sellers market, where are the buyers markets, and year over year across the lower mainland, Greater Vancouver, whatever you want to call it, where are prices? Are they up? Are they down? So stay tuned. Hey everybody, what's going on? Mark Parsons here at eXp Realty, deep in the heart of Greater Vancouver. If you're somebody who's interested in learning everything Vancouver, Canada, eating, culture, real estate, investing, anything, click the subscribe button and tap that notification bell right next to it so you don't miss a video every time we upload a new video to the channel about Vancouver and the surrounding area. We get dozens and dozens of people reaching out who are moving to or relocating to Vancouver, and we absolutely love it. Even if you're just looking to relocate within the Greater Vancouver area, reach out. It's what we do, it's what we're good at, and we have your back. But if you don't reach out, we can't help. So I'll go ahead and leave my contact info in the description below, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay guys, so in this video we're going to give you a bird's eye view of exactly what is happening in the Greater Vancouver area real estate market. We're going to go over all of the cities as quickly as we can. We're going to show you where the buyers markets, sellers markets are, where our prices year over year, are they up or are they down? We're going to dive all into it in only 4 slides, so let's get into it. Hey guys, Mark here with eXp Realty, back with the monthly real estate market update where I'll give you a quick bird's eye view across the entire lower mainland in the detached market as well as the attached market. On this first slide, what we're looking at here is detached homes across the lower mainland month over month. Now, month over month, we're not looking at prices, guys. For prices, we want to look for longer term trends because prices will go up and down month over month, but usually trending in the direction of a market, which we're seeing up right now. So what we're looking at here, month over month, what we look at is the absorption rate. How quickly are properties being taken off the market through successful sales. Now, what this does, it measures the speed of the market. This is the single metric that we use to measure if a housing market is in a seller's market, a balanced market, a buyer's market. So anytime the absorption rate is greater, 20% or greater, meaning that in a given month, 20% of the homes on the market were taken off the market through successful sales, or that also represents 5 months of inventory or less, that's considered a seller's market. When the market remains in a seller's market for a sustained period of time, usually after a few months you'll start to see pressure upwards on prices. We have been in a seller's market for probably a good 6 to 8 months, with the last few months being very, very strong, and prices are certainly reflecting this. So between 12 and 20%, that's what would be considered a balanced market. And it represents anywhere from maybe 5 to 10 or 5 to 8 months of inventory on the market. When that's how the market is, typically prices will remain quite stable. And then below 12% is a buyer's market. That's representing approximately 10% or more months of inventory on the market. And if it stays there, prices typically start to go down. But yeah, so let's hop right into it. We're looking at detached homes month over month here, absorption rate. Everything in red is a seller's market, everything in yellow is a balanced market, and everything in green is a buyer's market. So as you can see, there are no buyer's markets, balanced market. Everything when we're looking at just the statistics for each individual city is a seller's market across the board. Now, of course, there's different pockets, and if you get into higher priced homes in certain areas, it's not going to have the same absorption rate as the city as a whole. And each city has many neighborhoods that may be performing differently, and different price points that will be performing differently, and different property types: condos, townhomes, detached. So if you have any specific questions on your area, if you're looking to buy or sell, don't hesitate to reach out. We can definitely dive deep into the numbers that matter to you, but this is going to give you a bird's eye view of what the Vancouver, the lower mainland housing market is looking at. So When we look at this, if we look at the most expensive markets in the Lower Mainland, so West Vancouver, West Side Vancouver, and Richmond here. Now they're all in sellers market, but West Side Vancouver's at 22%. That's just slightly into a sellers market. West Vancouver at 26%. You know, it's getting a little firmly in there. And then Richmond is at 32%, which is definitely a solid sellers market. But if we go further east and into some of these different cities, it actually starts to get bananas. You know, where what we're seeing is, I mean, of course, there's low interest rates right now, and there is anticipation that they could go up. So people are out there trying to get active. There's also you know, with people working at home and COVID, what we're seeing is, you know, people looking to get more space, get more land, whatever the case may be. So, and we're seeing that pressure in the market. Out in Abbotsford, the absorption rate was 116%. In Mission, it was 154%. Pitt Meadows, 120%. Maple Ridge at 99%. Now, when it's over 100%, you say, well, how could an absorption rate be greater than 100%? Wouldn't that just mean all homes are off the market? So how it works, if the number is over 100%, what that means is the amount of properties that sold in February, if it's over 100%, are more than the amount on the market on March 1st. So if no new inventory came on the market and buyer demand remained the same, there wouldn't even be enough properties on the market the next month to feed the buyer demand. So you can imagine this is when we get into major multiple offers, subject free offers. I was in an offer last night. It was on a half duplex in Coquitlam. It sold with a subject free offer for $110,000 over the asking price. It was asking $1,190,000, and it sold for $1.3 million. So, and these stories, I mean, and talk to any realtor, they're going to have stories all across. Doesn't matter what market they're in, the stories are out there. But of course, overpriced homes still remain overpriced. But you know, and they're not going to move. But if you price your home near market value, you will almost certainly get above market value. You'll get a lot of attention. You will get a lot of competition. So consult with your realtor. They'll be able to get you a solid plan to make sure that you are putting all your ducks in a row in the right place to get that activity. So again, guys, if anyone wants these slides, just let me know. Message comment below or send me a private message, but I'll just rifle through a couple others. So those are the ones over 100%, but then let's get in the center here. Coquitlam and Port Moody were around 50%, Port Coquitlam at 86%. Guys, 50% is an insane seller's market. These other over 100% is just absolute bananas. Think if 20% is a seller's market, 40% is double that, and then 50 and other, like these are what's going on right now. I've never seen it this strong. We've got major inventory issues from the phone calls that I'm having with sellers. Some people don't want to list their home during COVID. They don't want that traffic, which is fair enough. But do keep in mind, if you know, if you were planning to sell, speak with your agent. We've got all the COVID protocols in place. I haven't heard myself of an open house being a you know, a source, like when they get in the news and it becomes a bunch of cases. Don't quote me on that. You'd have to Google it. I haven't heard it myself in the industry. I think as a whole, the industry has stepped itself up, along with all the other businesses that we're going into, just doing best practices to make sure that you know, everybody is safe in terms of COVID. And then the other thing is, now that things are getting so hot, I'm speaking to some sellers who say, yes, I know I could get more for my house now than I ever could have, but there's the fear of having to buy in that market, which is also limiting some inventory that coming onto the market, which is compounding the issue that we're dealing with. So month over month across the board for detached homes, it is a seller's market. So now let's look at detached homes year over year for prices. So everything in the green is prices up year over year, and everything in the red is prices down. Obviously, it's all green. Year over year prices are up. Now that's not even a surprise, but if we look at some of these numbers, in some cases, they're scary numbers. They're unsustainable for people who are homeowners. Definitely are getting that rush of equity, so that is a good thing. But other people who are out there trying to find a place may find that if they're not acting fast enough, all of a sudden they can't get that detached home that they wanted, and now they're considering townhomes. And that is where we're seeing most of the pressure, is detached homes and townhomes. Condos still remaining in the seller's market, but not the same activity that we're seeing on the other ones. But let's just look at some of the average price increases for detached homes from February 2020 to February 21. Again, guys, if you want specifics for your area, your neighborhood, just let me know, because it does vary. But if you get into some of so let's just go. I mean, West Vancouver up 34%, West Side Vancouver 9%, Richmond 1%. So it does vary, guys, but for the most part, some of these numbers, I mean, anything like East Van 20%, Pitt Meadows 15%, Mission 23%, Port Coquitlam 35%, Port Moody 42%. Now Port Moody can be swayed if you get a bunch of Anmore properties sold that are just $3, $4, $5, $6 million homes on those acreages up there. So that Port Moody can be skewed very much so. And again, with any neighborhood, if you see something that's way outside of the norm, sometimes it is that there were some particular sales either a year ago that changed that price high, and then now we're not seeing the increase in much, when if we take the average it actually is, or the vice versa, where something looks way higher than it actually is because there's been some major sales have brought those averages up. It's just taking all detached homes and dividing it by the number and getting that average price. So, but the numbers, I mean, when it's just consistent across the board, prices are up substantially. Surrey 23%, North Delta 34%, Cloverdale 35%. Homes going up 30%, 20% year over year is it's not healthy for the market, to be honest. I mean, when you're even getting up over 10% or more on an annual basis, it begins to separate. It just makes it so much harder for those who haven't been in the market to get in the market, or for those who are looking for this type of home, all of a sudden having to make major compromises they weren't expecting based on what they can now afford. Of course, interest rates are very low, which is helping to absorb some of that, but really it's just fueling what's going on altogether. So now that's detached. Sellers market across the board, prices up everywhere you look. Now let's look at attached, because right now detached is the one that's had the most pressure. Now keep in mind, when we had this run of before they put in the foreign buyer tax, 2015, 2016, it was all detached homes, and then 2017 into 2018 it was attached and condos, and then we saw prices come down. And guys, when we see prices up 21% in Coquitlam, well, early throughout 2019, from the peak we saw, let's say in 2018, they were probably down at least 10%. So then we see it year over year up 20. So some of these markets have come through dips. So if you actually look a few years back, these numbers may not be as large as they feel, but we've certainly had a major run from 2020 into now. So now we look at attached properties again, and this is month over month. So now we're back to looking at absorption rate for attached properties. Unfortunately, this is condos and townhomes together. So usually they do move pretty in tandem, but right now what we're seeing in the market is a little different, where it's kind of detached and townhomes are moving like together, feeling the majority of the pressure of the market, where condos are a little bit behind, although when we look at this, we're going to see that is quickly shifting. Maybe what I'm speaking there is more of what we felt at the end of 2020 moving into 2021, but when we look at some of these absorption rates, it tells a completely different story. So again, guys, anything over 20% is considered a seller's market. I'll start with the markets that were able to exceed 100%, meaning they didn't have as much inventory on the market come March. So that was Maple Ridge at 107%, Pitt Meadows at 174%, Cloverdale at 186%. And again, guys, these numbers are unsustainable. Port Moody at 102%. Again, this is for condos and townhomes. But for sellers who were planning to make a move, you without question have an unsustainable advantage right now. How long this will go on for, it's hard to say, especially at the levels it is now. Even if it softens up with a lot more inventory coming on the market throughout the year, it'll still remain a seller's market. But what we are in right now is truly something unique, something far more than I've seen. The pressure is definitely on the market greater than what we saw leading up to the foreign buyer tax. It's almost unquestionable now. So now let's go off the ones that are over 100%. We got Langley at 91%, Abbotsford at 81%, Coquitlam 78%, Port Coquitlam 77%. I won't go through them all, but yes, if you get into the higher price markets, it does drop. We're seeing migration out this way looking for space. So downtown Vancouver at 32%, West Side Vancouver 37%, Richmond at 38%, and West Vancouver was actually at 16%. It is a balanced market, a much pricier market. So people, might be taking those dollars and heading out east, but yes, West Vancouver, if you're looking to buy a condo or a townhome, of course, you're going to have the money to buy into that market, but you're going to have a lot more breathing room, a lot more choice, a lot less pressure in comparison to some of the other markets here. And again, as we start to move out, these 30s turn into 40s. Burnaby and East Van is 40 and 49. Then New West is 52, 77, North Delta 44. But anyway, guys, if you want these sheets, you let me know. So if we just look at it pretty much across the board, we're looking at sellers markets. And then we look at annual prices. So now we're looking year over year for condos and townhomes as a whole. How have prices been affected? And again, guys, some of these numbers can be skewed if you have some substantial sales. For instance, Mission says the prices are down 27% for attached properties year over year. And there's just pretty much no way that could be true. So what I anticipate happened is that if you went a year back, they probably had an anomaly and an abnormal amount of higher end condos or townhomes, higher price, that just skewed that average so that when they look at it now. But at the same time, it is worth looking into. If you're looking into, you obviously want to look at the places where maybe things are a little different than the market as a whole if you are out there buying. So shows downtown Vancouver down 1%, Burnaby down 2%, and East Van down 3%. Now, remember, guys, that as we went through from the heights of 2018 through 2019, prices in these markets were likely down, 10%, maybe 15%, depending on the pocket. So getting back to -2, -3, -1 is just showing that it's coming back up, and it's happening because we've had sellers markets for months, getting those prices back up. And again, when we're in the more expensive markets, I mean, West Side Vancouver up 2%, Richmond up 5%. And then out here, you're probably going to start to see prices up more. So Coquitlam 13%, Port Moody 15%, Port Coquitlam 6%, Maple Ridge 3%. So one thing that I do want to point out here, guys, because as I said before, normally we have condos and townhomes kind of move together, and then we have detached homes moving on its own. And right now, the activity is kind of attaching townhomes and detached homes. So when we look at these numbers here, what you would likely see if you went and split these numbers is that the average increase for condos would be a little less than the average you're looking at. And the average for townhomes would be a little more. And the average is bringing it somewhere in the middle. So, but all in all, if you look at across the board here, prices are up across almost every region in the Lower Mainland. These ones here, you can see that they're on their way, making their way out of the trough. And then this one here is an anomaly that would have to be looked in closer to see where the actual truth lies on that at negative 20%. It'd be like seeing if I saw plus 100% on one of these. It wouldn't make sense. It would need to be looked in further, but again, Cloverdale 23% up, Abbotsford 19%. South Surrey 17%. These numbers are very, very high for year-over-year price gains, guys. And again, this is for condos and townhomes together for prices. So if we look at the market, detached, all sellers, all prices up. Attached, almost all sellers markets there except for that. Prices are almost all but up, and definitely these would be trending out of their troughs there, guys. So if you have any questions at all, if I can help out in any way, don't hesitate to reach out. Each one of these cities has anywhere from 10 to 20 different sub areas. I know Coquitlam has 23 different sub areas. They all operate a little bit different depending on price points, where the demand is at, as well as the property type. So if you're looking to buy or sell, if I can help out in any way, reach out and I can get you numbers that are important for the transaction that you're about to make. But I hope that helped inform you guys, and we'll get back next month. Bye for now. Okay, guys, that does it for today's video. That should give you a really good idea, a bird's eye view of what's happening in the Greater Vancouver area with regards to real estate. Now, if you have specific questions, if you're looking to buy or sell, and you have questions about your specific neighborhood within one of these cities, or a price bracket within a certain city, or a certain property type, they are all sub-markets, sub-niches that require you to have the right numbers to make the best decision. So if I can help out in any way, don't hesitate to reach out. Again, we're going to leave the contact info below, so if you have any questions, if you don't reach out, I can't help. So with all that being said, my name is Mark Parsons with eXp Realty from the Greater Vancouver. If you have any questions, hit the comments below or reach out directly. See you on the next video.